More refugees arrive by the hour. Why does Svargrim hesitate?
The High King issues orders, but all they do is lock away the afflicted. When will we strike back? I hoped the words of the High Priest would offer some comfort, but no. The poor man seems more in need of solace than the faithful of solitude, and still the refugees pour in. My Jarl dead, our hold destroyed, and the High King does almost nothing. The princess. Can we really trust that troubled young woman? After everything you did in Carthwatch, I suppose I must. If you and Svanna truly have a way to help, please be quick about it. I feel we're running out of time.
The Harrowstorms continue to ravage our land, filling the city walls with people crying for protection. And what does the High King do? Next to nothing. Oh, he makes small gestures, but still things worsen. So he has. But have soldiers been sent to Morthal? Has aid been dispatched to Garthald? No, not yet. Svargrim helps the people that flow into the city, while the rest of Western Skyrim suffers. We must find the perpetrators and attack!
Princess Svanna, what can I do for you, Your Highness?
Listen to my friend, High Priest. We need your help.
I'm surprised to see the princess here. As you can see, the influx of refugees has made this place much more hectic than usual. Is there something I can do for Princess Svanna? Sacred oil? Strange. That's the second time today someone has come seeking Arkay's anointing balm. Sword Thane Athlet arrived with an edict from the king. Demanded our entire supply. How we're to consecrate the dead without it, I have no idea. The Sword Thane wouldn't say. He just mentioned that the High King needed it to defend Solitude. I'm sorry I can't comply with the princess's request. Things are hard enough that these refugees must take shelter here among the dead. The Sword Thane took the oil to Castle Dower. That's where all the supplies for a siege are gathered during periods of strife. I pray that High King Svargrim receives the patience and wisdom required to see us through this crisis. Solitude's foundation began with the construction of Castle Dower. It's the oldest structure in the city, and the most defensible. I tried to move the refugees there for safekeeping, but my request was denied. The High King has other plans, I suppose.
May Arkay drive back the darkness, forevermore.
I don't deserve this.
Where is that half-witted talker? He's trying to skeeve out of the deal.
Has my father found a way to use this sacred oil against the Grey Host? Perhaps he's doing more than I thought. This Sword Thane has helped me in the past. He'll be reasonable. He has to be. Let's let him know what we need.
Hold! Castle Dower is... Princess Svanna.
Sword Thane, our business is urgent. My friend will explain.
I don't have time for the princess's proclivities right now. The High King... We barely keep up with the multitude of tasks, so speak quickly and let me get back to it. My orders from the High King were clear. Stockpile the entire supply of sacred oil in the Temple of the Divines here within the confines of Castle Dower. What in Shore's name does the princess need with holy oil anyway? Protection? Truly? The Herald already outnumber my soldiers, and more arrive every day. Still, giving you the oil would violate the High King's edict. I suppose if I happen to look the other way for a moment, I wouldn't notice if a flask disappears.
single flask? Fen will have to make do. Let's get it back to...
Sword Thane! Vi has work! I gave strict orders, yet my daughter freely enters the castle grounds. What do they want, Sword Thane?
We came to offer our assistance, Father. Sword Thane, how can we help?
Athlet has everything well in hand, child. Despite your intentions, you would only hinder our efforts. Go! The Sword Thane doesn't need my daughter or her wastrel underfoot. Away with you! We're much too busy for Svana's frivolous notions.
My father's never been what I'd call a warm and caring parent. But this crisis has made him even more distant. Let's get this sacred oil to Fen. My father will certainly change his attitude once we present the protective elixir to him. He's trying to protect me. It's what he does. And leave me out. Though I suppose that's mostly my own fault. I know Mother's death weighs on him, as does this entire crisis. That's why we have to help. This elixir is going to work. It has to. It's not that unusual. Castle Dower is the most defensible part of the city. In the past, we'd gather the people inside the walls. Now my father is using the fortress to house the Herald. They need to go somewhere, right? Come on, let's go.
What is it?
Once it's ready, I'll test the elixir.
As you say, Lyris. Ah, here they come now. You have the sacred oil? Add it to the cauldron. Yes, a perfect fusion. It's ready to be tested. Come, let's talk.
Venorian does exemplary work, despite his youthful exuberance and dashing appearance. Of course, we still aren't sure if the elixir will actually keep the effects of a hero storm at bay.
Well, it didn't explode. That's a step in the right direction. I just hope it doesn't taste anything like it smells when I test it.
There's only one way to know if the elixir actually works. We have to test it. Talk to Fen and see how he wants to proceed.
With the addition of the sacred oil, the elixir is complete. Before we produce enough to distribute to the people of Western Skyrim, we need to test it. I'm confident of my work, but we're dealing with powerful forces here. We can't wait for the next Hera storm to strike, but what you and Svanna learned in Blackreach might help. You heard that Exarch Ulfra was testing Herostorm rituals in a place called the Undergrove. We'll go there and let Lyris drink the elixir. During my explorations of Blackreach, I came across an ancient burial site, a place called the Midnight Barrow. This Undergrove must be inside those ruins. Once there, you and Svanna keep watch from a safe distance, while Lyris steps into the storm. From what I could tell, the Midnight Barrow sank into Blackreach in the distant past. Somewhere in its chambers, we'll find the Undergrove. The ruined barrow is in the Lightless Hollow, in the northwest portion of the cavern. We'll meet you there. We're going to find an active Harrowstorm in the Undergrove, or I'm going to attempt to replicate one in there. Then Lyris drinks the elixir, exposes herself to the dark magic, and we wait to see what happens. Very risky. But it's also our best chance to counter the Harrowstorms and fight back against the Grey Host. Either Lyris comes through fine, or she transforms into a Harrowed. Or a Harrow Fiend. That's also a possibility.
This has to work. The safety of my people depends on it. Besides, I don't want to see Lyris get hurt.
Blackreach. If I were a little younger, I'd love to go with you. Do a little exploring. Ah, well. I suppose I'll stay here in the palace. Work on how to create more of the elixir once we know it's safe.
Blackreach again? And a flask of foul-smelling elixir waiting to be guzzled down. Enjoy. You and Fen stay put until we clear a path to the Undergrove.
Fine. Just don't take all day.
This is it. Look lively and let's get on with it.
Ugh, I hate being treated like I need protection. But Lyris is right. Fen and I will just get in the way if a battle breaks out. Clear us a path to the Undergrove. Then we'll catch up with you.
Go on. You and Lyris deal with any hostiles and find the Undergrove. Then we can finally test the elixir.
This must be the place. I'll go back and get—
No need. We're here.
The princess insisted.
We followed at a safe distance and only advanced after you cleared the way. From this point on, we stay together. And that's an order.
Yes. What she said. Now, let's enter the Undergrove. So this is the place. The Undergrove. According to the orders you found, the Grey Host is experimenting with Harrowstorms in there. You should go first. Then we'll find a spot to test the elixir.
I know this is our best course of action, but I can't help worrying about Lyris. I'm not sure I can forgive myself if something happens to her. No. We need to test the elixir. Lyris volunteered without hesitation. She's a true hero. Still, to know she might die to help my homeland, that's not easy for me to live with. I know that. My parents have been pounding that into my head since I was a little girl. But I never want to take those kinds of decisions lightly. Let's get moving.
Let's go inside and get this over with before I change my mind. You know, I tried to convince Fen to add some meat into the mix, but he totally ignored me. In addition to the refined netherroot brew, Fen needs information on the Ice Reach Coven medallions. Plus, we're hoping to learn more about the big storm the Grey Host has planned. Help Ben and Svanna at the other camps, then meet me in Solitude. I suppose congratulations are in order. Just remember, we still have a long way to go to end the threat of the Grey Host.
We need to find where they're experimenting with the Harrow Storms.
You honor me with your presence, my king.
Grey Host, stay quiet and listen.
This Harrow Storm must be the biggest we have ever wrought, my sister-in-arms.
That's the leader of the Grey Host.
Have we heard from Solitude? Is everything in place?
I have been assured the city is ripe for harvest.
Rada al-Saran and Exarch Ulfra. Should we postpone the test?
Certainly not. The holds are counting on us. Besides, we might be able to end this threat right here and now.
2 Grey Host leaders. This is an opportunity we can't let slip away.
We need to test the elixir, but maybe we can put an end to the Grey Host here and now by taking out 2 more of its leaders. It's a long shot, I know. But we have to try.
This is a bad idea. We barely got out of Zingalis's clutches with our lives, and now Svanna wants to take on 2 of them. It's madness!
The murderers who killed our beloved Singalis!
And you're about to join him.
Impudent mortal! You will pay for your crime. Now for the rest of his curse.
Allow me the honor of spilling their blood.
Very well, sweet sister. Join me in taking the tasks.
Let this Harrow Storm lay the flesh from your bones!
Need to leave. Svanna, no!
See to Lyris, Fen. And pray your elixir works.
Protect Svanna. She needs time for the elixir to do its job.
I think it worked. I stood in a Harrow Storm and nothing happened. Fen's elixir is a success. And we took out another one of the Grey Host leaders. We've done good, my friend. Never better. We need to create as much of the elixir as possible and distribute it throughout Solitude before Rada al-Saran's massive Harrow Storm hits. I also want to find out who in the city is helping him. Let's meet back at the Blue Palace. Once my father understands that we have a way to protect against the Harrow Storms, he'll have to take us seriously. Let's get back to the city as fast as we can. I know, right? It happened so quickly. When we confronted Rada al-Saran and Exarch Ulfra, the Vampire Lord blasted Lyris with his magic. When I saw her fall, I knew I had to act. It certainly gave us a fighting chance. When she called forth the Harrow Storm, I grabbed the elixir from Lyris and barely thought about what I was doing. I just drank it down and walked into the storm. I don't disagree, but somebody had to do it. There wasn't any other option. And I'd do it again. My people are counting on me.
Tell me, do I have a new scar? Enough with the coddling. Let's get back to the Blue Palace.
You go on ahead. I'll make sure Lyris gets back to Solitude.
Listen to your daughter, Svargrim. We need to do something.
Don't test me, Redharn. I know exactly what I need to do. Our enemies circle ever closer, and now even my daughter turns against me. What's next? Will my beloved wife return to accuse me of some heinous crime? Well, get to it. Tell me about Svana's miraculous elixir before I have the lot of you tossed out. You represent my most hated enemy, and expect me to believe a word you say? Even if you speak true, worms have found purchase in the wood and seek to rot my kingdom from within. I will not let Solitude and the Western Holds fall. Trust Svana. Perhaps. No. No! Your honeyed words are but echoes of my most obstinate foes. You offer a miracle with one hand, while holding a poisoned dagger in the other. Hell, I need no help from the likes of you.
Don't be a fool, Father. This elixir will save our people.
I didn't think you had it in you, daughter. You have actually surpassed my expectations, more's the pity. And I'll hear no more talk of this miracle elixir.
Father!
The Grey Host is my true ally. Once the Harrow Storm engulfs Solitude, my kingdom will endure for all eternity.
I should have sensed it. Svargrim's a vampire.
Svana.
Not now, Lyris. I need to think about this.
I should have suspected, sensed something. Svargrim has taken the curse, become a vampire. And he's working with the Grey Host. This is bad, my friend. Very, very bad.
Svargrim, you bastard! People are dead. Holds destroyed. And our High King had a hand in it? How will we survive this betrayal?
How can this be? The High King? Sacrificing his own people? It's so hard to believe.
I knew there was something wrong, but this? How could Svargrim throw in with the Grey Host? It's brazen, even for him.
It must be some sort of trick. The High King would never betray us. Would he?
Svargrim's a bastard, but King Yoren believed he had the best interest of his people at heart. Obviously, something changed. And with Solitude targeted for a massive Harrow Storm, things have gotten more complicated. Not everything is as grim as it appears. We did create an elixir. That's our best chance of protecting the people from the Harrow Storm. We just need to distribute it. In the meantime, take this. It may not seem like much, but you earned it.
Father, how could you? My father, working with the Grey Host. How long has he been a part of this? Did he have a hand in Mother's death? And what has he told them? It's almost too much to bear. And then there's the Harrowstorm. My friend, I don't know what to do. You're right. I know you're right. It's just... he's my father. No. I have to focus. There's a Harrowstorm coming. We have to save the city. That's what's important right now. I'm not sure we can. But we can make more of Fenn's elixir. Get it into the hands of the people. We need more of Arkay's sacred oil, though. We'll have to take it from the supplies stockpiled at the Temple of the Divines.
They've taken it! By the gods, it's fallen!
Fallen? What are you talking about?
The Grey Host. They came out of nowhere, captured the temple and the Tower of the Wolf. We're locked out!
Then the sacred oil.
Damn it all! I need to get down there!
Follow him! Now, soldier, tell me exactly what happened.
If we do not end this war, it will end us.
What do you want?
We're done. The Grey Host has found a foothold. Now the city is lost.
Not yet, it isn't. On your feet, Sword Thane. We have work to do.
Yes, Princess Svanna.
I didn't want to believe it. But the temple gates are locked. And without the sacred oil, I can't make more of the elixir. Talk to the Sword Thane and see if he knows what's going on in there. Nowhere close by. Only a High Priest of Arkay can prepare the sacred oil. And the High Priest here in Solitude turned over his supply to Svargrim. Now it's locked in the temple. In retrospect, that was probably part of Svargrim's plan all along.
The Sword Thane. He was a constant presence when I was growing up. Always so strong and brave at my father's side. I've never seen him this distraught. I don't think Athlet was involved in my father's treachery. At least not knowingly. If he can pull himself together, I believe his loyalty is to Solitude, not my father. Regardless, find out what he knows about the situation inside the temple.
Well, the soldiers spoke true. The temple gates are sealed shut. If the Grey Host's forces are inside, I wonder what they're planning. Talk to the Sword Thane. Maybe he has more information.
I apologize for that display. Tell the princess... Tell her it won't happen again. You need to understand. I pledged my sword and my soul to the High King. We all did. And he betrayed us. Nothing good, I'm sure. The Grey Host appeared out of nowhere and cut down my soldiers. Only a handful were able to escape before they sealed the gates. Svargrim made us fortify the entryways. The bastard knew he'd lock us out. Not that I can think of. But what does it matter? Svargrim brought the Grey Host down upon us. He's bringing a Harrowstorm. We need to evacuate the city while there's still time. Some of us will survive if we flee now!
That's unacceptable, Sarkane. If we can't get the sacred oil to make more elixir, then we have to stop the Harrow Storm.
Princess, we've kept watch. There aren't any witch pikes around the city.
Then you missed something. They needed the witch pikes for every other Harrow Storm they summoned.
Of course. Blackreach! The Grey Host must have gained access to the temple from beneath the city.
They could easily hide the witch pikes underneath our feet.
We know the Grey Host has been using Blackreach to clandestinely move around Western Skyrim. Why not launch their attacks from there?
Then we're going back to Blackreach. If the witch pikes are there, we'll destroy them.
Blackreach? Suddenly every legend and camp story from my youth has returned to haunt us. While you and the others charge into the Dam Abyss, I'll prepare the city. We'll do what we can to keep the people safe. I'll rally my remaining soldiers and organize the city guard. We'll get everyone into the Blue Palace and defend them from there. I know it won't protect us from the Harrow Storm, but we'll be able to hold off the Grey Host if they decide to attack. And you as well. Find those damn witch pikes and destroy them before we're all turned into mindless husks. Or worse. And keep the princess safe. We need her.
Yoren sent me with a warning for Solitude. Now I'm about to march into the starless depths of Blackreach to try to avert a massacre. How do I keep getting myself into these kinds of situations? I thought you knew me better than that. Taking on the impossible challenge, beating the unbeatable foe. This is what I'm good at. So yes, I do have to do this. And we're going to win. We have to. Svargrim. To cast his lot with the Grey Host, become a vampire, threaten his own people with a Harrow Storm. It's madness. One thing's for certain. We have to stop him. One step at a time. First, we make our way down into Blackreach. Then we find the ritual site. It must be right beneath the city. We smash witch pikes and kill as many Grey Host bastards as possible. After that, we pray to Kyne and hope for the best.
My father. A vampire. He sat on his throne, pretended to mourn for my mother, and said he had a plan. But all the while he was preparing the city for the Grey Host. He's worse than a monster. He's a traitor and a liar. I know. It's just... Look, we were never close. Not really. But he's my father. My king. What about you? Could you do it? Could you confront and maybe even kill one of your parents? Such confidence. As sharp and as cold as my dagger's blade. Lives hang in the balance. But I'm conflicted about committing patricide. I'm going to do whatever I can to stop the Harrow Storm and save Solitude and its people. After that, we decide what needs to be done about Svargrim.
As a junior member of House Ravenwatch, I never expected to be in the thick of things like this. I have to say, it's a tad overwhelming. Am I looking forward to going back to where Singolis experimented on me? Not even remotely. But I want to see this through to the end. I need to. The Grey Host can't summon the Harrow Storm without performing their ritual. And we know that requires witch pikes, so there's that. Plus the usual assortment of coven witches, vampires, and werewolves, I suppose. Nothing we can't handle, right? I had hoped to secure the sacred oil, and make enough elixir to distribute throughout the city. But we're running out of time. Our best bet now is to find the ritual site beneath Solitude, and stop the Harrow Storm before it's unleashed. You're absolutely right. Especially after we found evidence of undermining down there. All I can say is that we were focused on other things. Let's go and save the city now, all right?